we are here, day 2, phase 4, and today is gonna be back and biceps. Have the weights here ready for the first exercise, which is gonna be the bent over low row. Now, the bent over low row, it's pretty much explaining the different positioning of where your arms, hands, kind of the elbow placement and so on is gonna be compared to your body. So low row is gonna be bringing it nice and low into your body, almost at the hip section, in comparison to maybe a high row where your elbows are flaring out. So it's kind of putting focus and a little bit more stress on different parts of the back. And this one is gonna be a little bit more in the lats. So if you ever seen that kind of Christmas tree when bodybuilders flex their backs back here, kind of the lats will come in and make that striations in the middle of the back. You kind of wanna feel it in that placement there with these low rows here. So we're gonna get into position, it's pretty simple. So your feet are gonna be together and you're just gonna grasping the dumbbells here. And as you row up, it's gonna go pretty much right in the hip section here. You're gonna pull the chest up as the elbows come back. And as you can tell, it's almost an arch. Dumbbell starting here, kind of arching up and back. Elbows nice and high. Now you don't have to get completely parallel to the floor, your upper body parallel to the floor, but you do want a nice straight rigid back. If you notice any flexion in your back, it's probably a sign that the weight is a little bit too heavy, so you want to drop the weight a bit more and make sure you have that nice straight rigid back. And even when you pull up, elbows coming high, kind of pop that chest out a little bit. It's gonna help with a little bit more engagement of the lats there. So pretty simple exercise, but very effective. And this is a higher volume phase 4. So we got 3 more sets of 12 repetitions. Yeah. Now we're moving on to the incline high row. Now we've done these exercises in the past phase. We were going from low to high on the incline bench, but now we're separating them both. But we are using the incline high row in this particular workout here. And as you can see, got just a normal incline bench. Now you can go a little bit higher or lower depending on how long your limbs are or how much emphasis you want to put on a certain area. But this is about 45-degree angle or so. Pretty much what you want to stick around, and just gonna be grabbing the dumbbells here, and you're gonna be having your palms face backwards. And now with the high row, much like the name explains, you're gonna row it nice and high so the elbows are flaring out, pulling your shoulder blades together at that top position, really getting that squeeze in that upper back area. Okay, so the low rows, really trying to put focus on the lats, a little bit in the lower back area. The high row, you're adjusting the angle with the elbow, the upper body, and that's really putting emphasis more on the upper back. You know, your traps, your rear delts, teres major, things of that area. Lats are still involved a bit, but not as much as the low row. So you usually find these a little bit more difficult. So you'll probably want to go a little bit lighter on these to get the form right and get the angles right, and you're good to go. So we got 3 more sets, 12 reps, and then we're on to the next exercise. So on to the third exercise, and this is pairing 2 motions together, the low and the high row. But now we're separating the motions as far as making it a unilateral rather than a bilateral. So we're separating the arms, I should say, but we're pairing up the motions. So as you can see, starting with the low row, much like we did in the beginning, but only with one arm, you're rowing low into the hip section, and then as soon as you let down to the bottom position, you're rotating your elbow outwards, increasing that angle with your torso, and then making it into a high row there. So a few reasons to do this. One, pairing up 2 motions together makes it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more dynamic, but then also doing a unilateral exercise is now focusing on one side in comparison to the next. And then if you have any strength issues or weaknesses in a certain side, of course you can always pay closer attention to that or find that out as you do unilateral exercise like this. So it's a great exercise. Really make sure you're always trying to be as symmetrical as possible because the body is naturally asymmetrical. So to be able to try to fix any of those positions and spots and muscles and sides that you're weaker in, it's always a good thing. Then you can move on for that and become a bigger, better, buff dude or girl. I'm sure at this point you can probably tell that we love pullovers because this is the next exercise, meet pullovers. Now a little bit more of an isolation exercise. You're really utilizing just the shoulder joint here. So it's trying to hit those lats as hard as you can, but it's also working a little bit in the chest, shoulders, and triceps just for stabilization, and you feel a little stretch in there too. And we're just gonna be using cross bench pullovers here. And what you really wanna focus on is as you bring it overhead, get that nice deep breath. And then as you pull up and over about sternum level, you're gonna go ahead and exhale with that. Your upper back is gonna be supported on the bench, and the back of the skull is just gonna be lightly supported as well in a comfortable position. And then just gonna bust them out from there. So these ones feel great. Definitely an old school exercise that is never lost its muster and is still buff to this day. So let's bust these out. Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah. We are done with back. Now onto the fun stuff, and it's gonna be the biceps. And we're gonna be doing some isolation exercise. And the first one up is gonna be the hammer curl. So this one's pretty simple. I'm sure a lot of people already know about this one. It's really just keeping a neutral position in the grip, thumbs facing up, and you're just flexing at the elbow straight up, get a nice squeeze, and then bring it down to bottom position. So really working in flexion, and then with the eccentric, a little bit of extension in there too. You'll notice some people kind of turn inwards as they hammer curl up. And it might be putting a little bit more stress on the brachioradialis, so it just kind of depends, but you don't have to do that. But it is finding that position that works best for you, sometimes the fun part. But we got some moderately heavy weight here, and you'll tend to be able to do a little bit more weight on hammers in comparison to maybe just the standard supinated curls here, just because there's a little bit more of these muscles kind of involved and helping with the kind of pulling motion there. So, we're gonna be doing bilateral here. So you can do the standard straight up. Kind of feel it right there. Nice. Get a little bit of those extensors in the forearms too. But you can also turn inward as well. Letting the elbows flare out as you turn inward. Or keep them close and go straight up. Oh yeah. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Hammer curls. It's a good one. There's some joke about hammer curls and a certain superhero's favorite exercise. I can't remember. Maybe you guys can help me out. We're on to more curls. The biceps, they haven't seen enough yet. They need more work. But we're gonna be doing something a little bit different, maybe an exercise you haven't heard before. It's gonna be circular curls. Now it's not only working on the flexion of the elbow, but it's also working in external rotation as well. So it's kind of putting different pressures in the heads of the bicep there. And as the name explains, you're gonna be working in a circular motion. So this one is probably easier to kind of understand once you see it in motion. So we're gonna go a little lighter in the dumbbell, a little lighter in weight, because this one can be a little bit more difficult because of the extra motion that's happening in this exercise. So here we go. Working in the supinated grip, you're gonna curl inward, you're gonna circle outward, slight external rotation, inward, circle outward. So you can tell it's a nice fluid motion, good tempo. You don't wanna go too quick, use any momentum, keeping the elbows right at your side. And you will feel a little bit as you externally rotate in your rotator cuffs there in the shoulders. This is a good thing too. They always need a little bit of work anyways. But it's predominantly biceps. Oh yeah. Whew, that burns. It's a good one. Not about the weight in these ones. Most like any isolation exercise, you want to keep it a little bit lighter so that way you can have that perfect form and really pinpoint the muscle you're trying to work. And in this case, it can be the biceps there. So circular curls, excellent exercise. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend trying these. And you can also go the other way too. So not only circle outward, the next set you can go ahead and circle inward too, just to switch things up a little bit. There we go, circular curls. All right, the last exercise is gonna be twisting planks. As you can see, it's in a normal plank position, but you're just twisting your hips from side to side, tapping them on the ground. Feeling that nice contraction in the obliques, and also a lot in the core, meaning the abdominals and the lower back as well. Trying to keep that nice straight positioning of your torso and also the lower body as well. So that's it, is the last exercise. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today, day 2. We still got day 3 and 4 coming up. And as always, stay buff, yeah. I'm not done yet, I still gotta finish this out. This is what happens after the camera stops. Oh.